Mr. Carbone, I have on your records that you're a first-class offender. You are not eligible for good time. You have a full term date of April the 1st of 2025. You are currently in prison on carnal knowledge of a juvenile and serving 7 years. Is that all accurate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I believe, has been assigned to your case. Mr. Jones, would you proceed, please?
Mr. Carbone, how are you this morning?
I'm nervous.
Mr. Carbone?
I'm nervous.
Okay. I can understand that. How long have you been incarcerated?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years? 3 years of a 7-year sentence?
Yes, sir.
What have, and you charged with carnal knowledge of a juvenile, right?
Yes, sir.
How old was your victim?
14.
Okay. The what have you done since you've been incarcerated? You had any write-ups, any disciplinary problems, or
No, sir.
you've had no disciplinary? What classes have you been able to take within the last 3 years?
I'm on the last week of pre-entry, and I'm backlogged in everything else that I need. The anger management, the drug classes, the risk management, all of that.
So you're saying that those classes, you're backlogged on those, hadn't been able to get those yet?
Yes, sir.
With this charge, what classes do you think you need to know?
All of them.
All of them? You got a drug problem or any drug use?
Yes, sir.
What's your drug of choice?
Pills.
What is it?
Pills.
Pills?
Yes, sir.
I can't understand you. What? Pills?
Yes, sir. Pills.
How long you been taking pills? How long have you been taking pills?
Since I was 16.
16 years old. Any other drugs? Anything before then?
Weed.
When did you start smoking marijuana?
In college.
Not till college.
When I was 19.
19.
When I was 19.
Okay. Did something happen to you or anything for you to start taking pills?
No, sir.
What kind of pills were you taking?
Pain pills, nerve pills, muscle relaxers.
Were you injured, or how did you get started with them? Why would you take them?
To escape reality. I got them from my mom.
So you were taking your mother's medication.
Yes, sir.
Would you say you got hooked on them? You got addicted?
Yes, sir.
What have you done to try to get off those pain pills?
I stopped taking pills that's not prescribed to me, period. I won't even take Tylenol.
You, when you were on the outside, did you go to any treatment, anywhere to try to get some help with it?
I didn't know I had a drug problem until I came to prison.
Okay, and what made you think that after you got to prison that you had a drug problem?
So I looked back and I realized how dependent I was on those pills.
Okay. Your work history. Were you doing any type of work, anything while you were on the outside?
I'm a certified welder.
You're a certified welder.
Yes, sir.
Where did you work?
Trinity Rail, mostly.
What is it?
Trinity Rail. It's a welding company in Georgia. Actually, it's all over.
In Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Were you
I'm from
living
Georgia.
in, were you living in Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been back to Louisiana?
I was here a month before I got locked up.
So you were not working when you were incarcerated.
You're breaking up a little, Mr. Jones, at least on my end. I assume it's everywhere as well.
Mr. Carbone, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you have any job opportunities? If you were able to get out of here today, do you have any job opportunities anywhere you would go?
Yes, sir.
Where would that be?
There's welding jobs all over New Orleans.
Okay. Have you, of course, you've been incarcerated. You hadn't applied to any since you've been incarcerated, right?
No, sir.
Okay. I have no other questions this time.
Ms. Wise?
Good morning.
Morning.
Do you remember the reason your probation got revoked?
For non-payment of probation.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Well, according to what probation parole presented to us, one of the reasons was that you failed to provide proof of obtaining a substance abuse evaluation.
Yeah.
You remember that now?
Yes, ma'am.
So evidently, substance abuse was on the radar while you were on supervision. And I guess you know you overlooked it then. Let's go back to your arrest. It was such a the police report that we got just indicated that the police were called of a suspicious circumstances, and then when the police came, you just confessed that you had just went in the woods and had sex with a 14-year-old. That is just so unusual. Did you all have a relationship?
No, ma'am.
Who called the police?
The woman I was living with.
Oh, somehow or another, she knew that's what y'all had done in the woods?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. And I just want to commend you for, for your honesty and your straightforwardness to the officer. That was really unusual. Now you have a prior sexual battery in Georgia that was dismissed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What's going on with you?
I don't have no idea.
And I just want to encourage you, like you said, you're on backlog for some of these programs, to really sit on the front row and really pay attention to what's being taught, so that perhaps you can gain some insight as to what's going on with you, because you're a very young man. You have a full life ahead of you. That's all I had, Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Carbone, I've got a couple of questions. I'd like to follow up on a few things that Ms. Wise asked.
Okay.
While you were on probation, you were given probation for this carnal knowledge of a juvenile charge. You were given a 7-year sentence. It was suspended. You were placed on supervised probation, a number of conditions of probation, one of which was you were supposed to get a substance abuse evaluation, and you never did. Now,
Yes.
Tell us why you never went and got that.
I never could get the money up to pay for it. They wouldn't do it without the money.
You are a certified welder. Were you a certified welder then?
Yes, sir.
Did they explain to you that these conditions of probation are critical and important, and if you don't do them, you go to prison?
Yes, sir.
You couldn't borrow $55 to get a substance abuse evaluation?
I have no one. I was homeless at the time.
One of the other conditions that you had was you were supposed to attend sex offender programs in education. You didn't do that. Why not?
I didn't have the money to pay for it. They wouldn't let me go unless I paid for it.
Let me explain something to you, okay? If you told that to your probation officer and you told that to the judge, that it was a financial issue, they would have worked with you in some way to make sure you could get that treatment. Every jurisdiction has people that will help people who don't have sufficient money to do the things that they're supposed to do. Judges will work with you in that regard. How come that didn't happen with you?
I tried, but the judge wouldn't listen.
Okay. Now, so you find yourself in prison for 7 years,
Yes, sir.
and you have not taken any sex offender courses while you've been in prison? You can't get into them? Is that what I'm understanding?
Before I could get into any classes at all, the COVID happened.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit to what Ms. Wise asked you a few minutes ago about that sexual battery charge a number of years ago in Georgia. What was that about?
I was trying to get around a girl in the library and I put my hand on the small of her back so she wouldn't back up into me. And the owner called the cops on me.
And just coincidentally, a number of years later, you get another sex offense charge. They arrested you initially for sexual battery, for tapping someone on the back. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
How much education do you have?
12 years.
You graduated high school?
Yes, sir.
And how did you become a certified welder? What did you have to do to become a certified welder?
I went to Job Corps.
Okay. And it involved mathematics and things like that?
Yes, sir.
You were able to do all of that pretty well?
Yes, sir. With some help. But yes, sir.
Do you believe you have some sort of a sexual issue of some sort?
Looking back on my
I see you shaking your head, but I can't hear you. Tell me about that.
I said, looking back on my record, I see that I do.
Well, I'm looking back on your record and I suspect that, but you're you. Tell me about you. Why do you think you have a problem?
Honestly, I don't. But
You don't think you have a problem. You just want to say, you said that because you thought I wanted to hear that. Fair?
fair.
Okay. You said the person who called the police was the woman you were living with. What do you mean the woman you were living with? Is this girlfriend, relationship, or what?
No, sir. She was trying to help me get back on my feet. I was in the process of actually getting disability and everything else at the time.
Now, when you say you were living with her, what do you mean? You had a room in her house or what?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all have a relationship of any kind?
No, sir.
Now, I don't want you to answer the question for what you think I'm going to want you to say. I want you to tell me, do you believe you need any sort of sex education?
Yes, sir.
And why?
It's what I think about a lot. I need to get some help.
Have you ever been married?
No, sir.
Have you ever had a steady girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
Did y'all have any sexual issues or problems?
A little bit on my part.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Carbone. Can we hear from the warden?
Yes, sir. It's Warden Bardlaw. Me and Stephen talked a couple of days ago on his pre-parole hearing, and I think his problem is just he's been denying that he has a drug problem. He's been denying that he has a sex problem. And I know we talked the other day, he pretty much admitted to me that the pills and his sex problem is what led him to commit his felony. And he admitted that he needed some help on both ends of that. And we'll do our part to get him that help.
Great. Thank you, Warden. Mr. Carbone, is there anything you'd like to say? Make a statement to us?
No, sir.
Is the panel ready to vote?
Mr. Chairman, before we vote, I want to ask him a couple more questions, follow-up questions.
Certainly. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Carbone,
Yes, sir.
where do your family live? You know you lived in Georgia. Where do your family live?
Texas. My mom and my stepdad live in Texas.
Your mom and your stepdad lives in Texas. Do you have a relationship with them?
Yes, sir.
How good is it?
Really good. They actually want me to come home.
Back to Texas?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
My mom.
I'm trying to figure out, how did you get to this point? Were you ever abused, sexually abused or whatever at a young age?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Honestly, no, sir.
But you were sexually abused at a younger age.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Is the panel ready to vote? Ms. Wise?
Yes.
Mr. Stephen, I just want to thank you for your candidness today, your straightforwardness, and I just hope that once those classes that you're backlogged for open up, that you'll be able to take full advantage of it. But today, my vote is to deny because of the lack of programs, due to no fault of your own, the lack of programs and your poor supervision history, and you do have some law enforcement opposition. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Yes. Mr. Carbone?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carbone, can you hear me this time?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Like Ms. Wise said, we want to hopefully to give you the necessary tools so you can go home and stay home and take care of, your problem. And so my vote today gonna be to deny also, so that you can get some of these programs that, as you said, it's not your fault, but we're a little backlogged and with the COVID and everything, hopefully that you can get this and we get you some classes behind you. My vote is to deny.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Carbone, let me say that I appreciate your honesty today. I think that under these circumstances, ordinarily under these circumstances, this is a difficult position for you to be in. And to be asked very specific personal questions are very difficult. I am very encouraged by the fact that you were openly discussing with the warden what some of your issues are. I think that's important, and I think that you need to address those issues. I'm hoping that you can get into some programs that will guide you with some of your sex history, some of the problems that you've had, as well as your substance abuse. So today, it would be my vote as well to deny you. You have 3 votes to deny your parole today, but it appears that all three of us are very encouraging to you, and hopefully that you can get some sex offender treatment and get some drug substance abuse treatment and be able to get out of here before long and be able to lead a normal and comfortable life. So your parole's been denied today, but we encourage you to continue moving forward. So
Yes, sir. Thank
good
you.
luck to you, sir.
All right.
I don't know about you, but that man gave me the like creepy AF. I did. That was scary for me. I don't know if you had the same vibes. I wasn't thinking like, wow, he's so great, he's being honest. Really, I'm thinking this guy is on the antisocial level spectrum of, if a 10 was the highest, he's at 1,000. Just my opinion. I'm only speculating on a situation like this. For those of you who get it, you know. The idea that he has, and what are they talking about him being honest anyways? He literally, first he stated that he admits he has a problem. Then he said that he admitted that he was lying to them because he wanted to hear it, which kind of like that's what they said to him. Oh, did you say that because you wanted me to hear it? Yes. Then a few moments later, he says that he does have a problem. He says that he thinks about sex a lot and he thinks he needs help. Then he's dishonest when they talk about the library. He says, I needed to get through. I didn't want her to follow me. I put my hand on the small of her back. So I don't even get the honesty part. Like, why? Because he said, yes, I was abused. I don't want to talk about it. It's just, I don't know, man. I just didn't see it that way. What I saw is someone, who he reminds me of? This is where it hits home. What is his name? What is his name? And we'll do a hearing after this. Do you remember that guy? He's all over YouTube. He wore a trench coat. He randomly went and took like his roommate from college, paid him like $20 to take him to Walmart, but then just offed him in the middle of the road, and then was caught like 10 minutes later, and they have this entire interview on camera. And it's like a really scary interview because he's just like this guy just saying, yes, sir. I don't know why I did it, sir. I wanted to scare him, sir. Well, I was upset that I was caught, but I was happy I was caught by a deputy sheriff. Remember that guy? I know there are going to be some of you that remember, some of you that don't know what I'm talking about. If you can remind me of that case, I'll pin it in the comment section. He reminded me of that. Very scary. And it's like the same thing when when the police came and the Ms. Wise was like, oh, that's very interesting. I commend you for telling the officers. That doesn't. Well, it's because he's missing something. He doesn't even, and it's with probably those people. They tend to just like have this thing with authority figures, and the no write-ups. They all have no write-ups. That's just the way it works. 99.9% don't have write-ups. It's like the telltale sign. If someone says, "I didn't do it. I am innocent," well, what's your record? No write-ups. Sorry, it's a flag against you. Actually, it's just the data. It's not an opinion. It's the data. It's the hard facts. It's crazy. It's hard to explain. But some judge thought that this person should get probation, not just only a 7-year sentence for his second time getting caught doing something of this nature, but probation, which he then violates because he claims he can't get his hands on $50. And again, the board thought he was being honest. BS. Call him out on it. He's a welder. Who can't get their hands on $50? Why are you taking... And maybe it's true. Maybe he really couldn't get his hands on $50. There's something missing up there. He has his freedom on the line. It's sit in prison for 7 years or get your hands on $50. Yeah, his family really wants him. The same family that can't give you $50, the same family that doesn't show up to your parole hearing, being honest, Mike. It's scary. I just, it's like, it's scary. It's scary that a judge would give him this. I mean, maybe the judge just has limited information. He had a public defender said, well, he's, why? She was 14. 14 years old. What is wrong with the system? Why does that deserve probation? He had a sexual battery on his record. This was his second offense. Why only 7 years? And then he violates because he didn't pay, and it's just crazy. Broken system. All right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
This is for Jacqueline Williams, DC 606-687. We have no participant.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good morning. Good morning, Ms. Williams.
Good morning.
Would you, for the record, we need you to state your name and DOC number, please.
Jacqueline Renee Williams, 606687.
And let me introduce the panel to you. My name is Cheryl Renatza. I'm serving as chairman today, and my colleagues on the panel are Mr. Victor Jones, Mr. Tony Marabella. I'm going to read some information into the record, and then I'll start the parole interview with you. We will then hear from Ms. Bauer, and you'll be allowed to make a statement if you'd like before we reach a decision.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Ms. Williams, you're classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 10-year sentence for 4 counts of molestation of a juvenile. Your parole eligibility date was December 1st, 2015. You don't earn good time, and you have a full term date August 1st, 2022. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so how old are you now?
I'm 56.
56. And you were, I think I saw on the record you were 47 at your first arrest. Is that about right?
Yes. Yes.
And how long have you been in jail on this crime?
No, over 8.5 years.
8.5 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you were previously seen in 2015 by a parole panel and were denied. And the reasons stated were victim opposition and law enforcement opposition.
Yes.
And that opposition has not changed.
Okay.
You need to be aware of that. Now, your co-defendant in this was your husband.
Yes, ma'am.
You still married?
Yes, ma'am. I haven't divorced because I haven't. When I went to like the law library to see if they did divorce in prison, and they said no. So I haven't really asked this facility. So, but
Okay, it's my understanding that his sentence was 150 years. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, and you made a plea agreement for the 10-year sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
And so tell me why the vast difference in the sentencing.
I don't know. I had 4 victims and he had 9. And I mean, I don't know the difference. I mean, I can't tell you.
So the victims that I could see in the record ranged from age 10 to 16.
Oh, no, not mine. Mine was 16.
Okay.
Yes.
You had 4.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you get involved in all that?
My husband, he asked me to do it, and I kept on telling him I didn't want to do it. And he just like gave me an ultimatum, well, if you love me, you'll do it. And I mean, I know it was wrong, but I guess to show my love to him, that's the reason why I did it. And I mean, I know it was wrong, and I won't do it again.
So he didn't force you to do it, but you did it. He
Yes.
didn't force you.
No, he just gave me the ultimatum. If you love me, you'll do it.
Okay. So this went on for a period of time, right? How long would you say?
Mine was like a year, and then from like 95 to 96, that was mine. What he did after that, he was on his own. I didn't do anything else after that.
Okay. Have you had any sex offender treatment?
No, ma'am. You took a class?
Is it available?
I took a class. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
I took Morals and Integrity in St. Gabriel.
and that's a sex offender program for women.
Yes, ma'am.
How long is that program? I'm not familiar with it. Are there different phases to it, or it's just?
Yes, ma'am. I think there was, I want to say there's 4 phases.
Okay.
It's
And you
been,
did them all.
She did every one of them. I
Yes.
pulled it up in Cajun. I pulled her program completion up in Cajun, and she completed all 4 phases.
Okay, good.
First one in September of 13. The second one in January of 14. The third one in January of 15. And the fourth one in February of 16.
Okay, great, good. I didn't see that in the paperwork that I had, so I appreciate you sharing that and looking that up for us. So what would you say to the opposition? One of the is the district attorney's office says she got a favorable sentence. However, due to her history of molestations, she does not deserve to receive parole. How would you respond to that?
well, I feel like I've been rehabilitated because today, I would not ever be participated in anything like that ever again. I mean, I regret what I did, and I regret for the rest of my life. And I'm remorse. I just like, that was not even me. I mean, it
Was during all this time, whether it was, you and your victims or with your husband, were there any alcohol and drugs involved in any of that?
ma'am,
None?
no, none,
Have you ever used drugs?
no, ma'am,
You never drank alcohol?
I drank a little bit, when I was younger, but no.
Okay. All right. Ms. Bauer, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, she's not a problem here, no write-ups. She hadn't really done any classes here because she had most of them completed prior to coming here. I see when I pulled her completions, she did Celebrate Recovery, Anger Management, Money Management. She did Living in Balance, Phase 1 and Phase 2. She hadn't done re-entry because I can't.
Pre-release in a Concord.
Did you? It's not on here. She said she did pre-release in Cottonport, but it's not on her Cajun sheet. They may not put it in because she didn't earn credits.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to say, Ms. Williams, I'm pleased to see that you took advantage of program opportunities. Often we see people, they took good time classes just for the good time credit, and you did it because you wanted to do it because you don't get the credit. So good for you. Good for you. What's your transition plan?
I have
Like, where would you live and where would you work?
I have a place to go to in Lacombs, Louisiana.
That's right. I did see that. The Outreach
Yes.
Foundation?
Yes, ma'am. But as of right now, I don't have employment. But when I do get out, that's going to be my main goal, is to get a job and be dependent and to better myself out there,
To be independent.
to be dependent. Yeah. Independent.
Dependent?
yeah.
Independent.
Sorry.
Okay. I know you're nervous. Ms. Bauer, can you tell us something about the Lacombe Outreach Foundation? I'm not familiar with that place or program.
One of the only places in the state of Louisiana that will accept sex offenders. It is a very good it is a good place. It is very strict with following the guidelines. I've had one or two go down there, but they refused to follow the guidelines that they established there, so they didn't last. But it is a very good program, from what my understanding.
Do they
is.
help with employment? They
I
help
think
with employment and all that?
Everything.
Is there a time frame? Is there a, limit on how long they can stay there?
That I don't know.
Okay. Do you know that, Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you willing to follow their guidelines?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You got some challenges as a sex offender when you do get out. You've got some challenges that you got to deal with for a long time.
Yes, yes, I understand that.
You're aware of that. Okay. All right. I don't have any other questions. Mr. Marabella?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Ms. Williams, I've got a few questions. How long were you married? How long were you and your husband married?
Come this August, it'll be 30 years.
Okay. Now, did this business with the juveniles come up? I mean, how did that come up? I'm a little curious to find out how all this started.
Okay. Mine, I'm gonna just say mine because I did participate between 95 and 96. And every time that he asked me to have sex with these boys, I kept on telling him no, 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 no. And he was just like, well, if you love me, you'll do it. And at that time, I loved him enough to really do whatever. And I'm not saying, to kill or whatever, but
I got you. Well, let me ask you this question. Have you ever had a mental health evaluation?
No, sorry.
Tell me what you learned in the sex offender courses that you've taken. You've taken the 4 phases of sex offender treatment.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what you learned about yourself and what was going on with you having taken those classes or any other classes that you've taken while you've been in prison?
In the morals and integrity, I learned that, oh man, I just rethink the position that I'm gonna be in, just to think for myself and not worry about the next person that wants for me to be involved. I just like think for myself, and go with my gut instinct, just know it's wrong and not participate.
Okay, I mean, these sound like silly questions, but did you realize this was wrong when you were doing it?
Yes, sir.
Did your husband have that kind of a hold on you? I mean, was there anything else he made you do that other than these acts?
No. He just had that controlling aspect. It was just like, I'm not saying that he would like beat me or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. He just had a hold on me because there was like times that I would like be getting ready we'd go out to eat, and I would like put on clothes and put makeup on and stuff like that, and he was just like, oh, well, you're not going to wear that, take that makeup off, and I would take it off, because I don't know what his mind.
Do y'all have children?
We have a son.
How old is your son?
He's 26.
Do you have a relationship with your son?
Yes, sir.
Okay, does he visit you? Has he been in communication with you?
I talked to him on the phone. Yes, sir.
And your husband is in prison for a substantial amount of time.
Yes, sir.
Have you had any communications with him at all?
Not in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, when I get out there and get myself, together, I'm going to divorce him when I get out there because I don't want to have no part,
And how much have you done on your 10-year sentence?
Go over 8.5.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. That's all the questions I have, Madam Chairman.
So,
Mr. Jones?
Madam Chairman, I do not have any.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ms.
no
Bauer, is there anything else you want to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Williams, is there a statement you'd like to make to us?
I just want to just let y'all know that from the bottom of my heart, I regret what I did. And I regret it to the day I die. And I just wish there was some way that I could ask them, to forgive me, because I've asked God to forgive me. And I know He has. And I know it's going to be hard on me out there. But I just feel like if y'all would give me a chance to show, people that I can be productive and be better out there. Thank you.
You have a sister in Arkansas, don't you?
I have a sister and a brother in Arkansas.
Do you still maintain a relationship with them?
Yes, I talk to them every week.
Good. Do you is there any possibility of you going to Arkansas and having them as your support group once you finish with the outreach program?
Yes, ma'am.
And where does your son live?
South Carolina.
Okay. All right. I'm prepared to offer my vote. So I'm going to do that. Ms. Williams, thank you for being honest with us today. I was concerned about the sex offender treatment after having reviewed the record in detail, but I'm glad to know that you were able to take advantage and complete that program and the other programs that were mentioned. you've served 8.5 years of your 10-year sentence. I'm willing to give you a chance to the Outreach Foundation. My vote would be to grant your parole. You score out as a low risk. You've got good programs. And I like the idea that you're wanting to go to the halfway house. I would add special conditions that you do submit once you're out, submit to a mental health evaluation. And if there's a treatment plan recommended, you follow whatever they recommend, and that you have no contact with your co-defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you plan to pursue a divorce, you got to go through an attorney to do that. No contact.
Yes, ma'am.
I would, and then I'm not adding it, but as a special condition, I would recommend that you do try to see if you can establish a residence near your family in Arkansas.
Yes, ma'am.
That's my vote. Good luck. Mr. Marabella?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Ms. Williams, I feel the same way as Ms. Renatza. It sounds like that your husband had a hold on you that doesn't excuse your actions. You've accepted responsibility for your actions, but I do think that mental health evaluation is important in that you follow whatever treatment they recommend. They may not have any recommendation. They may have some counseling that they want you to do or something, but I would encourage you to follow that. I likewise think it would be a good idea to get out of town and get with your family once you finish the outreach program, but that will, of course, be up to you. My vote would be the same as Ms. Renatza with the same conditions.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones?
Yes, Ms. Williams, my vote is the same as my colleagues. I concur. My vote is grant also for the same reason stated.
All right, Ms. Williams, you've received a unanimous vote. Do you understand the conditions, the mental health evaluation, no contact with your co-defendant, to the Outreach Foundation?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck to you.
I had a question real quick. Ms. Renata,
Yes.
okay, if I can, file her petition for divorce from here, do y'all have a problem with it?
No, and that would be great.
If I do it from here, I can do a form of papyrus and it may be less expensive than when she gets out.
That would be awesome. If she's agreeable to that.
Yeah, that's strictly up to her, but I would do it where now it would be less expensive. We can go ahead and get the process started.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Williams, did you have a question?
No, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Good luck.
God bless y'all.
And April, and you as well. I think we're done there, right? We're finished at your facility?
Ma'am,
So we'll adjourn. It's 11:33. Thanks for accommodating us today.
thank you.
Thank you.
Man, our system is so broken. When I read to you some details of this case, you might say, what is wrong with our system? She got a slap on the wrist, sentenced 10 years to begin with, and then they say, oh, great, you can go to parole. You saw her turn on those waterworks. The problem with turning on waterworks is you can't keep the act up long enough. As soon as she was done her little act, they asked a regular question, her voice just changed, snapped perfectly back to normal. She said, I did it because he said that he would love me if I did it. Do you know what they did? They were hiding in plain sight. They went to church every Sunday. Her husband was a firefighter. They worked in a local construction company. And then they adopted 3 brothers. They adopted 3 boys who were brothers. And then for years, they abused those boys. They abused them as a husband and as a wife. The husband got a 150-year sentence. She pled to 10. Why did they give her a 10-year deal? I don't know. Why did they parole her? I don't know. Pathetic. You wouldn't believe it unless you've seen it. That's why we do this. A man and his wife faces more charges. Patricia Price Williams, 44 years old, and Renia Williams, 47. Allegation of 2 boys in their care. Here's the beautiful couple. The foster parents. Why do you think they adopted those boys? They're such great people, or they knew exactly what they were going to do. Vivian, husband and wife, entered a guilty plea. And she didn't even get a deal for testifying against him. They both entered guilty pleas. They said there was a total of 160-year sentence, but he got 150 and she got 10. How? In my opinion, Mr. Williams should never be released from custody, Judge Scott Christian said in pre-sentencing comments. Judge Christian also said that the case showed absolutely overwhelming evidence is a heinous sexual predator of teenage boys. In his comments, Judge Christian referred to Williams' residence a house of horrors. Oh, the poor little wife. She was a victim in it. No. She didn't even make up the story that she was in fear for her life. She did it because she loved him. How is that even an excuse? On Tuesday, William entered in a guilty plea to 9 counts, which these began in 1988. It just 1988 is when it started. What? Because of the severity of the crime over the number of years, the number of victims involved, Judge Christian used 2 sentencing ranges against Williams. On counts 1 through 6, Williams received the maximum 15 years in prison at hard labor on each count. He ordered those sentences consecutive. 20 years in prison in each count. So, that's a normal sentence that you give, but why did she get off? Williams' wife had entered a guilty plea last week of 4 counts and a maximum of 10 years to be served concurrently. And then she gets out even before then. Judge Christian said he found Patrick Williams to be the major participant in the crime, saying Williams bartered his wife's sexual service in exchange for sex with the victims. How is that And how is that an excuse? How is that? What are you saying, Judge? Are you nuts? Are you really saying that he bartered with his wife for sexual affection so she would do it, and you're giving her just 10 years? Are you mad? But the judge said he was troubled with Jacqueline Williams made no attempt to contact authorities. You were troubled by that? You were troubled that she made no attempt? The grotesque activity under her roof, noting that she in fact facilitated her husband's predatory conduct, but the crime is too severe to not impose what the laws allow. He said, but the crime is too severe to not impose. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Cato Parish Assistant District Attorney prosecuted this case. Well, now he has his own private injury firm. Oh, it's a woman. Now she moved on. She did this stuff. That's what they do, I think. I think a lot of them, they just do this stuff to build their resume, and then they move on. That's what I think it is. And they just don't care. They just don't care. It's just a part of their journey for their own personal road. They just don't care. But the judge, you're pathetic. This is the appeal to his sentence. Williams was charged of 9 juvenile males. The offenses began in 1988 when he was only 21 years old and continued until 2012. This was something they were doing every day under their roof. When one of the victims finally alerted authorities of the offenses, Williams was a volunteer firefighter. He helped with his father's lawn service. He was married, attended church. Williams and his wife had a special needs child. I wonder what they did to him. And also provided foster care for 3 brothers. One of the foster children reported the abuse to the pastor at the church he attended. An investigation was conducted which revealed a long-standing pattern of abuse for the boys between ages 11 and 17. Some of the children were related to Williams. Yeah, they were. Okay. Some of them were related to him. Some worked in his lawn service. Some were volunteer firefighters. And some were foster children in the Williams home. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. She's married to him. She's living under the roof. It's happening for more than 2 decades. And she gets 10 years? Are you mad? And then she gets paroled early. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. I'm just so raging mad. The system is so broken, and this is why we do this. People need to be aware that judges are giving out these sentences. These are people that are elected into office, and then a judge would make a decision that she should only get 10 years. Why? Sit across and tell me a table and tell me why. Tell me why. She's the most dangerous type too. She's just a mom. She's just, you know, who knows what, you just can't. She somehow even manipulated her way to only getting a 10-year sentence. She manipulated her way to then getting parole, and she's going to manipulate her way, in my opinion, to harming more children. But this is why we do this. You wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it, but now you did. And with that, I'll let you go.